All right, so it's that time. The old car you've been driving has just been worn out. You're going to get yourself a new car. Breathe in all that new car scent. But what about the insurance? Well, in today's video, we're going to tackle insurance in new cars, everything you need to know. Let's get after it. All right, so you did it. You did a thing. Congratulations. You bought a new car. But what do you need to do about the insurance? Well, for whatever reason, I've been doing this a long time. It never fails. No one ever buys a vehicle during working business hours, it seems. It seems it's always after hours or on the weekend. But before you can drive off the lot most of the time, the dealership's gonna wanna know that you have insurance. Now, if you're buying a car and you're paying cash, the only thing the dealership cares about is that they just made a sale. You should know that when you drive off the lot, you have liability coverage. So if you hit someone, they're protected and you're protected from lawsuit. But if you finance the vehicle, before you get in that car and drive off the lot, the dealer's gonna wanna make sure that you have comp and collision coverage. So you're gonna need to prove to them that you have that. Most of the time with most dealerships, you can provide them with your current policy number and your carrier. Most of the time that will suffice. Sometimes they'll actually need proof from your agent, but if it's overnight, they know that they're not gonna get it because no one's open. So most of the time, if you work with them, you've had a good relationship, you can actually have them verify it the next day, they'll get the proof and you're all good to go. But whether you finance it or not does make a difference. So whenever I go to buy a vehicle, one, I try to plan ahead, contact your agent, say, hey, I'm thinking about doing this. That way they're prepared, and maybe you make sure that you have your ID cards, maybe a copy of your policy, and that way you can get off the lot. All right, I'm gonna let you in on a bonus here, a bonus. Did you know in North Carolina that you have up to 30 days of automatic coverage before you have to call your agent to add that vehicle? Well, you do, and now you know. All right, so you bought a vehicle, you've proven that you've got insurance to the dealer, but what coverages do you need? Well, that's kind of up to the individual. So some people believe wholeheartedly, like the Dave Ramsey method of don't have a payment on a car. You want to have enough in savings to where you could pay for the car so that you don't have to carry comp and collision. But let's be honest, most people, if they need to have comp and collision, they need to have it for a reason. So call your insurance provider and you add coverage. You want to make sure you always have liability. That's just included with your policy. And you ask for comp and collision if you want to have it. But what if you have a brand new vehicle? I'm talking about a brand new vehicle. Well, then I suggest that you ask your provider if they offer repair and replacement cost. Why is that important? Well, as soon as you drive off a lot, the value of your car decreases. Some people say 10%, it can be more, it can be less, I don't know. But as soon as you drive off a lot, it's not worth what it just was. So what happens if you get in an accident right when you drive off the lot? Well, the insurance company is gonna pay you for that vehicle, but unfortunately, it's not gonna be enough to go put you back in a brand new vehicle. There's some diminished value. Well, if you have repair and replacement costs, the insurance company is gonna pay out of that coverage to make up the difference, to put you back in that brand new vehicle. So some people might call it gap coverage. I do get asked that question a lot. Is this the same as gap insurance? No, it does fill a gap, but what you're mainly referring to is what the dealership offers a lot of times, which makes up the difference between what the car is worth and what your loan amount is. Remember, insurance carriers in general don't care about the amount of your loan. They care about putting you back in a car of like kind. So make sure you ask for repair replacement if you're buying a brand new vehicle, and that should be good enough. Okay, so we've talked about what you need when you go to buy a vehicle. We've talked about the coverages that you need. Now, here's the big no-no, and we see this all the time. Never, ever, 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 ever trust that the dealership is gonna call and add your car for you. I repeat, never ever trust that the dealership is going to call and add your new car for you. That is your responsibility. If the dealership calls and adds it, that's just gravy, but it is your responsibility to call and add your vehicle. Why am I so adamant about that? Because I have seen it over and over and over again that you get so wrapped up in that new car smell, you're sitting in it, it feels good, you drive off the lot, man, this is awesome, and you forget to call. Well, you know what? Most of the time, the dealership, the salesperson, they just made their sale. They're done. They forget to call and add it to your insurance. And then 3 months go down the line, your 30-day coverage that we've already talked about is gone. You get in a wreck. And you call, hey, I got in a wreck. Yeah, I was driving this car. And I have to give you the bad news of it's not on here. And you're like, well, you should have known that I got a new car. Well, I don't. Well, the dealer said they were gonna call. They didn't. So it's your responsibility to make the phone call, send the email, do something to notify your agent, your insurance carrier, that you bought a new vehicle. Because otherwise, you ain't got no coverage. All right, so we've told you about what you need to take to get your new car, make sure it's all insured. We've told you about some of the coverages that you make sure that you have. And then we gave you the big no-no. Never, ever trust a dealership to add your car for you. Hey, hope this has been a little helpful for you. Make sure you check out some of our other videos. Until next time, we'll see you.